It's really good to see you tonight because we begin a very, very important sacred journey. Tonight we are in the sanctuary. The unusual thing about it is being in the sanctuary, this is not a Sunday, this is Wednesday. It's what we call Ash Wednesday. Is that term found in the Bible? The answer is no. But Ash Wednesday begins this sacred journey, this pilgrimage toward the cross and the empty tomb, and we call that journey Lent. Is Lent in the Bible? The answer is no. The early church gave these terms because they thought it was very, very important that you and I understood the beginning of the sacred journey we were making with Jesus to the cross and to the empty tomb. What I want to do tonight is I want to tell you what's going to happen, and then I want to tell you why it's going to happen. What's going to happen? In just a little bit, we're going to ask each of you to come to the front, and we're going to put on your forehead the symbol of the cross. The cross that we put there is made of oil and the ashes from the palm branches that the children carried last Palm Sunday. And then we'll ask, after you've gotten the cross on your forehead, to return to your seat. Now, why are we doing this? Some of us are probably reluctant to be showing something like a cross in oil and ashes on our forehead. We're likely to race straight home and wash it off of our face. I hope you won't do that, not because you're trying to say to other people that you are a follower of Christ, but really because what this Ash Wednesday starts, the journey, is symbolized by that cross on our foreheads. Ash Wednesday is not the time that the pastor comes to the pulpit and says, a funny thing happened to me on the way to church tonight. This is the beginning of a very solemn journey, a journey that is filled with our penitence, our recognition of the ways in which we have done what we shouldn't do, or we haven't done what we should do, or we said things that hurt people, or we've not said things when those things could encourage people. As we sort of journey in our minds, this is not a time to be looking around at each other and saying, now, I know what is wrong with you. This is a time when we journey and we're looking inside of ourselves and we're asking the question, how may I be more of what Christ wants me to be? It's a solemn time, a time for me to look inside of my own life, to recognize that this journey that we're making with Jesus to the cross, that I've contributed to all of this. I bear some responsibility, as all of us do, for this. I can think of places in my life that have not been as committed as they should have been. And the only reason that Jesus is making this journey is not that he's failed, but it is that I failed, you failed, and all of God's children have failed somewhere in life. We're going to look inside of ourselves toward the cross and then toward Easter. We're going to examine ourselves. This may involve some very difficult probing of our own lives, but we've got to look at ourselves. Not saying, I know the sins of other people, but this is the night we begin to say, I know what the sins are in my own life. And I even recognize that there are sins I don't even know that I've committed. But it's a time of penitence. It's a time of looking inside. For many people in the history of the church, it has been a time of fasting, of going without, so that people could concentrate more on what was going on in the depths of their lives. That's why we're here tonight. It's the beginning of Lent. From this moment on until the crucifixion and the resurrection, we are going to be on a journey, looking inside of ourselves. As many of you know, one of my favorite writers is Frederick Buechner. In 1936, when Frederick Buechner was only 10 years old, on a Saturday morning, the door to his room, his brother and he were playing a game on the floor. His dad looked in. Fred still remembers he had on a burgundy sweater and gray pants. He looked in. He didn't say anything, his father. He closed the door. The next thing that anybody knew was Fred Buechner's father had gone to the garage, sat down on the running board of the old family Chevrolet, turned on the ignition, and he was asphyxiated. Later, Frederick Buechner was going through some therapy, and his writer suggested, why don't you have a conversation with your father? But instead of doing it with your right hand, which is your strong hand, your creative hand, you do it with your left hand. Just write a dialogue to your dad. And so Buechner did. Daddy, was there anything I could have done or could have said that kept you from doing what you did that Saturday morning? Freddie, I had to do it. It was the only way I knew to deal with the enormous pain that I felt. Daddy, I want you to know I love you so much. Freddie, I want you to know I love you so much. Suppose we were writing this to Jesus. Jesus, is there anything we can do to keep you from dying on the cross? No, that's my destiny. But I want you to know that when I die, it's because I love you. I love you even with your sins, even with all of the things in your life that may be wrong. Jesus, will we ever see you again? That's a question. I can't really answer that question specifically because you wouldn't believe the answer if I told you now. You got to see it. Yes, some of you who are here with me will see me again in this world. Those who are not with me now won't see me in this world, but they will see me in the world to come. Look at me, Jesus said. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Jesus, I'm sorry for what I've done. Just remember, I love you so much. I will die on that cross. What a powerful journey of hope. The cross couldn't keep him. My sins couldn't keep him dead. Neither can yours. On the third day, he arose and he lives with you and with me. What hope! We'll see Jesus again.